Yes. Okay, so you missed Seth. That's not important. Okay, so we are the Aussies, and well, yes, yeah. Sue and Jeff live in Australia. Amanda and Mike live in Australia. I'm Australian, and we live in Kentucky. So yeah, we have the Australian group. We get together every week, and we have our webinar. They're really kind of laid back. Yes. We just have a lot of fun.
Like the whole of Australia.
Yeah. It's kind of reflective. So we're talking about how partners interact with each other, because there's generally one partner that's, you know, all into Amazon, and the other one's like, yeah, whatever you want to do, I'll just sit back here. And so there comes a point where I think that quiet partner realizes that this is something that's, you know, really beneficial. And have you always been?
Yeah, I didn't know a lot about Amazon when Sue first mentioned it. I think I bought a book some years ago, and that was about the extent of my knowledge, you know. And Sue had started a online business before, and without a very good platform, you know, you struggle to make sales. And then since she started the Amazon thing, nothing much happened until she joined Just One Dime, and then it just took off, you know, with a bit of coaching and all that. So having Amazon as a platform or a shop front, I think of it as a great big mall, and we've got a shop in the mall, you know. Yeah, and it's just cracking along. I'm no entrepreneur. I drove cabs for 32 years in Sydney, and that's the extent of my business acumen kind of thing, and always work for a wage or a salary. But Sue's the entrepreneur, you know, and she's the risk taker. And I just see how much of a buzz she gets out of it. And also, when you look at the bank balance, that's really cool too.
Yeah, because you have a really cool bank balance, right? Yes. I mean, they travelled around Australia, and while they were travelling around Australia, they sourced product on a little tiny device. Yeah. Right? Yeah, and by the time they got all the way back home, they were launching. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was already almost sold out by the time I got back home, 3,000 units. Yeah, and I'd never even physically seen my product. Wow. So it's amazing. This whole journey, it's a roller coaster ride.
It's a leap of faith. It's a leap of faith that, you know, you had to do. I mean, we sent $28,000 off into the ether and kept our fingers crossed, but I just trusted Sue's research because she was on that old computator, as I call it, and was you know, working really hard and doing all the research, and all our other business ventures have always been a success. So we just rocked and rolled. Yeah. Yeah.
You guys want to introduce yourself?
I'm Amanda, and this is my husband Michael, living in Australia. Yep.
Michael's a bit hesitant.
Oh, extremely hesitant. I started off, I've been the most skeptical person on the planet as far as this side goes, but my eyes have opened, and opened dramatically. For someone who doesn't want to spend $1, I've gone and spent a lot of money to come to Las Vegas for 4 days. After Amanda has not talked me into, but we've discussed and joined, my eyes have opened up completely. Like there is a group of people here that is a team. It's like a family, literally, from every corner and every part of the world that is prepared to help, discuss, talk about your problems, talk about your concerns. It just doesn't stop. It just, I'm blown away. I'm literally blown away.
Cool. And it makes it so much easier to know that there's other people out there that actually have the same feelings as you, because my wife did this for a long time as far as trying to get me convinced that Amazon works. Amazon's selling for one, and I'm the cautious type. That's my personality, and I still work in my job at home. And after being here, talking with everybody else, it's convinced me to take the next step, take the risk. And like I said, I can just say I appreciate everybody here. So it's been a very important trip for me, and I'm very proud of my wife for what she does.
Yeah, and I've got a beautiful black eye, which
it's not showing.
I didn't do that.
It is. No, I can see it. I haven't got bad makeup on. And somebody did actually offer to match my makeup. They were going to do an artist thing and match it up.
I'll give you another black eye.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper.
And Dustin said, I think you'll look like someone from Kiss by the time you let it go. So Paul's got a question. Do you have an address for a fulfillment centre in Australia? Yes, I actually do. There's one in Western Australia. He's really nice. Jesse. I'll post the link to that, Paul, so that you can have that. I don't actually have the details on me right now. How much does an LLC cost? And that comes from Booking. Okay, if you've got a LLC in America, it will depend on which state you register that LLC, because every state has their own setup. If you're selling from Australia, you don't need an LLC. So just depending on where you're actually selling from. So if you want to put that in there, I'll answer it more correctly. Someone says I look like a movie star. What, from the movie Rocky? Yeah, we're going up to the VIP party up in the penthouse. So Seth and the other coaches are all up there, and I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to hear the Just One Times 5-year plan, which is super exciting. And I know a little bit, and I can't share it. Sorry.
Okay. Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Good, good. Did you have a question for anyone? I know you wanted to ask some questions before I continue on with those.
Okay, yeah. Well, my question is, how do you, like now that Michael sees the light,
He's the light.
He sees the light of Amazon, and how do you sort of divide your time? Like, does he help with cooking and cleaning, so you've got more time, more time to research products and that sort of thing? No, don't shake your head. Come on, Michael.
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. To be totally honest with you, and I know I'm really sorry, this is totally not blokey, but he's a gem. He's a gem. He helps out with everything. If he needs to pick up a vacuum cleaner, he'll pick up a vacuum cleaner. If I'm getting a little bit swamped with things, he will just chip in and help. You know, there's nothing that I know we have blue jobs and pink jobs in our house, but everything's just about purple, really, to be honest.
I like purple.
Yeah, we like purple. Michael's the cook of the house. I can't cook peanuts. Yeah, I'm shocking.
All Aussie blokes can cook.
That's
right,
yeah, Chef cooks. And he does.
Yeah.
Are you
hearing this? You can't even boil water.
Yeah.
You can run the grill.
An Aussie barbie, you don't have to clean it.
Yeah, he can cook a good barbecue.
So we pretty much split everything fairly. You know, there's going to be times where Michael's really flat out and I'll chip in and I'll pick stuff up. But if he knows I'm really focused and I'm researching or whatever it is, Michael will just pick up the ball and run with it. We share. We share.
Good for you. Yeah. That's support right there. It doesn't matter what somebody does. You know, some people are good with one thing, and you know, anything that you don't do is supporting someone.
It frees up your time to focus on your Amazon business.
Absolutely. So you guys have any questions for Sue and Jack?
Yeah, Michael had a question for you guys.
So, like when you first started, and I'll say first started, we first started investigating buying and selling online, literally. You come across all your different websites. You have to make your different choices as to where you may or may not go. And with us, Amanda came to me and looked at several sites and said, your thoughts. She'd already made a decision which way she wanted to go. And watching that YouTube video with Seth blew me away. It was just a guy that I just wanted to shake his hand and just get to know him because he had that genuine feel about him. And if you can't watch the video and believe that, well, there's something wrong with you, seriously.
Yeah.
For you guys, the question here is, when you went from that session to where you are today, what difference do you see now? Like when you try and think back to when you first started to where you are standing here today, How is life so much different?
Well, as soon as I joined and got my first coaching session, like my coach was sad, and as soon as I got that first coaching, I just realised how little I knew and how much more I needed to know. So most definitely it was as soon as I joined, I knew I was in the right place.
Yeah.
I just knew, how you have that feeling. Yeah, you just, and I knew it was, because I was sort of in a bad place. I had 3,000 units at the warehouse that weren't doing anything for weeks. It was just sitting there, no sales.
To do with it, yeah.
And I had tried my own PPC thing.
So you had 3,000 units there and no sales. You joined just one time. You had the coaches meeting with Saad, and you sell out.
It's a great testimonial. Honestly, it was magic. It was when Saad optimized my listing. Like the very next day, there were 4 sales, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Overnight, I had 4 sales, and then there was 10. Then there was 20, 50, 100 sales a day, up to 172 sales a day of my $35 product. So in one day, I made over $6,000, and I couldn't have done it if it wasn't for the coaching and just one dime, because I was stuck. I was just in no man's land, and
what it's done is given us the confidence to move forward, and buy
order
more stock,
and
roll your venture capital back in.
Yes.
Yeah. So Paul asks, are you selling in Australia? And if so, you can compare to the USA. If not, can you explain if you're planning your term and strategies?
Personally,
are you selling in Australia?
I've put everything on hold in Australia because Australia, it just turned FBA last Tuesday. So my shipment of my product arrived a couple of weeks ago, and I've got a garage full, 6.9 cubic meters.
When the guy pulled the curtain across in the truck, I said, "Which one's ours?" And he said, "All of them."
And Jeff went,
I had to run up to the fruit shop and say to the guy, "Get the forklift down here."
To borrow the forklift from the fruit
it's
shop.
lucky that you live somewhere where you can.
We could do that.
Because there was so many boxes.
Wow.
But anyway, so I've got a garage full of boxes, but my listings are on hold for Australia because I'm not there to fulfil them.
Yeah.
So I'm just deciding now whether I
to
should
self-fulfill
or to send it all to Dandenong.
I would
If
send
it's
it all
100
to.
if it's
I would
100
send
units
it
a
all to
day, I'm going to be in trouble.
I would send. Just send in like 50 units.
To Dandenong?
Yeah, send in 50 units and see how they sell. Like as soon as you get a few sales, that way you don't have all that storage, because you've already got them at the house anyway. It's not going to be an inconvenience.
No, that's right.
And then if they start selling, then send in more. But I would let Amazon fulfill them because you don't want that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't.
that's the
We're
thing.
creating
We
this
want
life for freedom.
Yeah, that's
not
right.
to be a slave over
be
boxes.
posting stuff off.
No, it's fantastic.
I think the difference between like the US market and the Aussie market, the way I look at it is the US market launching there, that's where we can make a relatively consistent cash flow and income. The Aussie market obviously is just in its infancy, but that's really exciting because if you get in on the Aussie market when it's in its infancy, by the time the rest of the Aussies decide to jump on board and it becomes really popular and things really hit the running field, you're already established. So you've been there, you've done that, you've got your brand known, you've got your reviews in. So you'll be like a Aussie version of Nike. Your brand is going to already be known. So the opportunities getting into the Aussie market, even though it's relatively quiet compared to the US or the UK, it's actually really, really exciting if you've got a bit of long-term vision.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. That was the reason that I decided to sell on Amazon.com was to just because I heard that Amazon was coming to Australia, and I wanted to sell my own products in Australia, and I thought I'll just join the .com in America and learn, how
That's a good idea.
how it all works. Learn Seller Central, because there's so much to figure out in the back end of things,
That's
about
true.
shipping queues and things. And I thought, when it does come to Australia, I'm going to be, hitting
Ready.
the ground running.
Yeah.
And but
Not in those shoes.
but it's
It is a
Amazon
really good-
America turned out to be like a winner chicken dinner.
Amazon America is your income. Like
Yes.
you're going to build all your finances on Amazon. A lot of people don't realize this, but Australia and America are basically the same size in land mass. So you have the same size. Yet Amazon USA has 85 million, or more than now, 85 million Prime members. That's 85 million people that have paid $100 to shop on Amazon. I mean, that's
4 times the population of
right.
Australia. Yeah.
And yet, Australia has a population of 26,000. So you've basically got
Million.
Texas,
Oh, right.
spread out across America.
Yeah.
So it's the same. Texas and Australia have the same population.
Okay. Yes.
So could you imagine if America only had the population of Texas?
Yeah, there'd be lots of empty bits like Australia.
We'd have the outback.
Yeah.
Yes. So you sell in America to make your money, and you sell in Australia to also make money, because they're projecting 4 billion sales on the internet for Australia next year. So that's a lot of money,
Looking
and you
good.
want a little piece of that
Looking
pie.
good.
That's really exciting. You want to get in
That is
there.
very exciting.
Really. One thing I just wanted to say is that when I started, from answering both questions, it was Seth. When I first found Seth, and he just seemed so humble and so genuine. When you watch his videos, he's just so real. And then I joined the Facebook group, and I've come to this belief, and that this is my question to you guys. Like when you actually meet Seth and you meet the rest of the team, it seems to me that they are a certain type of people, and we seem to be, you find yourself in life, attracted to a certain type of people, whether it, be the wrong crowd or, church groups, whatever it is that you're into, but you are attracted to that type of person. And I think Seth, being as humble and genuine as he is, we are attracted to that type of person, even if we didn't know it at the time, because that represents us. And the Facebook group is exactly the same. It's all the same type of person, where we want to help people, we want to succeed, but we want you to succeed as much as we want to succeed. And that is the type of person that he projects. And that's the type of person that he attracts.
Yeah.
And, all us members, I noticed, walking around, introducing to everybody, seeing 500 members here, in Vegas, it's just been so overwhelming. It's just been absolutely amazing.
It has.
But when you actually, and now you have all met Seth and all the coaches in person, and it's different to a little tiny 2-inch, bubble. It's like, wow, there's this surreal moment, like, oh, that cheek is like right there. He's real. He's exactly as he is in the videos. Yeah. There's nothing fake about him. There's nothing. It's just so humbling.
Yeah.
So how have you found the coaches and Seth, and Seth's family is just simply amazing.
Yeah.
Well, how different are they in person? Like, what was that moment like, as opposed to being on a camera?
Yeah. Well, I was really, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos. There were so many programs, as everybody knows, that you could join these days. And yes, I've been following Seth for a long time, and he came across as being genuine. And I think we Aussies, don't we? You just get that feel, that someone's
we're pretty
real.
straight to the point, and we can step on a lot of toes.
But he's the real deal. Yeah, and I knew I joined the right place when I joined up, and I met him online maybe a few days ago when we did the interview. I did an interview, so I met him online And he was so nice and really
Real.
yeah, just accommodating and
All right, I'm going to jump into a couple of these.
Yeah, okay, so
You want to
we'll go
answer any? Can you answer any of those?
I'll let you take it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Ellie wants to know if FBA is confirmed. Yes, FBA started last Tuesday. I think their main FBA centre is Dandenong, Victoria. It doesn't matter where you sell in Australia, like they're all going to be shipped from everywhere. So that is where their main centre is, but it's absolutely FBA now, not just FBM. How do you deal with tax? Andrew asks, how do you deal with tax? I'm not sure what country you're referring to. So, and I'm not sure what tax, because there's two taxes, income tax and sales tax, and then there's GST, which is the same as sales tax for America. So I would have to know that. And we've got like 5 minutes left, and you know, we're getting the 5-minute sign over there, guys. It's like, wrap it up. We got to go party, because someone asked where's Seth's upstairs in the penthouse with my drinks. So I have to go. I need ice on my eye in any form. Yes. So everyone's saying hello, and I can't really go through everyone, but hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. It's been absolutely fantastic. I love talking to you guys. Paul, I'll definitely get you that link. And did you fire your boss, Sue? Yes.
Oh,
she
yes.
did. I did.
Yeah.
And
I'll find a few.
yeah. At least being a cab driver, you would.
They can do what you want.
Yeah. But you get that people skills.
Yes, that's
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
so you can talk to anybody. So, repeat which state is best to set up your. If you're in Australia, you don't need to set up a state LLC. You do a PTY LTD,
Yeah.
and you just do that from whatever state that you're actually in. So don't choose a different state, and that will just go on your taxes. But if you want to sell in America and you are living in Australia, you do not need an LLC. You just use all your Australian credentials to come over here and sell. So it's really simple to set that up. Is anyone from Brisbane? We have our Aussie group is 48 members or 56, I can't remember. It's one of those two numbers now, and there is a lot of people from Brisbane. Jasmine's from Brisbane.
Yeah, we've got a handful. From
Yeah, there's a
Brisbane
lot
now.
from Brisbane.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got them all over. Yeah, absolutely all over. And it's my goal to actually go down and do a tour around Australia, and I want to go and try and meet everyone, which will be really cool.
Yeah.
So I have accommodation there, and I have like obviously all my family everywhere.
We've got a spare caravan.
You do? Or maybe we'll just take that around. Yeah, do our little thing. We'll just travel around Australia.
Yeah, just like-
You know,
Yeah.
get all your luck. Make it luck.
It's hard work.
Well,
It's not
yeah, I'd rather just fly.
Make your own luck.
My idea of camping now is the Holiday Inn, and that's the extent of that. So I'm going to say good night, everyone. We're off to the VIP party, and you all have a great night, and
Good
see you
night.
soon.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi.